Hello, beautiful souls. It's Ashlee Escobar, the owner of Angelic Love and Light, back here on our YouTube channel, The Wake Up, for another astrology transit update. For those of you who don't know, I am a holistic healer and wellness nurse. Feel free to check out our website, subscribe to our email list, follow us on social medias, and of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any content. I am also an astronomy guru, and I love to connect the dots for people who want to know how this energy that impacts us every day is affecting us and impacting us without having to know it to the depths that I do. So we're going to dive right in. We have a retrograde coming up. There's lots of energy swirling around this time of the year. There always is compared to other parts of the year. And we have Venus going to go retrograde in the sign of Leo on the 22nd of July. So just in a few days. So we're already in that pre-shadow energy, meaning before the retrograde. So we could be feeling it, but you're not going to know because there's so many different transits going on that it's really hard to pinpoint what is what. So just give you the content on it. First of all, retrogrades, we need some education behind what a retrograde is. Now, all of this stuff, I want to start off by saying connects deeper to your natal chart. It is a service I offer. I break down what your natal chart means to you in a very in-depth way. Your natal chart makes up your whole being beyond your sun sign and your whole personality. It shows why things have happened the way it does. Some futuristic stuff, connect the dots for you. It helps you to self-identify and become more self-aware, which leads to self-mastery in your healing and wellness journey. But retrogrades represent an area where it's the planet's going backwards, and the planet's not actually going backwards. It means to go backwards, to go within, to review, reflect on some things that are harder, tougher to really discuss, that are meant for you to dive in spiritually. That means that there's extra lessons and growth areas in the retrograde points of your chart. But when planets are retrograde, it impacts all of the collective. And when I say collective, I just mean the world. So first, you should know who zodiac-wise is ruled by Venus, which it's Taurus and Libra. They share the planet Venus. And Venus represents, so we're balancing energies. And with astrology and astronomy, you always are balancing duality of energy and zodiacs. So when we talk of a zodiac sign, there is positive and negative traits that are, but then we're seeking balance and talking about the balance sign, form of the sign. So Venus overall, everybody knows it for the planet of love, and it is. It is the planet of love. It's the planet that impacts your relationships. It is also, which many people don't know, the planet of your finances. Finances, your values, your treasures, and gifts. Taurus especially, I find this in Libra in a more introverted way. They don't really let people know about this, but both signs like nice things. They like Taurus a little bit more than Libra, like to splurge on nice clothes, nice eatery, nice things to do. And so the finances make sense around that and why they are typically like that. You'll think of a Taurus or Libra and like, yeah, I always say Libras like to spend their money, but are smart shoppers and like to get a good sale. Tauruses will just spend and not care and say that they'll work harder and get the money to get what they need. So let's think of these things that Venus rules. And now we're going to apply the Leo energy. And Leo energy is such a fierce, actually my Venus is in Leo, so I'm excited for this retrograde. But Leo is a fierce, passionate sign overall. But think of if you're so passionate, it can be a little bit overwhelming, claustrophobic, over nurturing to some that especially aren't used to it. On the other hand, if you're not passionate about something or someone, you can be very distant and cold with that Leo energy. So think of that duality within the Leo energy as well. So this is all about reflecting beyond what retrogrades usually stand for. This retrograde in Leo is all about reflecting and tuning inwards so that we can get back to reactivating the unconditional love within us and other people, because we've got to start with us and then ripple outwards. And so we're going to reactivate this unconditional love. At least that's what it's trying to do and trying to ask you to do. I want to start with finances, the topic of finances. How do you activate, some of you may be thinking, how do you activate love around finances? Well, here we are going to talk about how childhood wounds and generational wounds can create money blocks and money mindset blocks. And that's huge in your healing journey to dive into, because you can only get so far, and money is a tool, money is a resource, money is not evil. It's your intentions with what you do with it. And so you've got to reframe that mindset and work on the wounds around it. Is it lack? Is it you're spending too much and you have no control over what you do with money, or how to save? Everybody's kind of all over on that spectrum, but there is one thing for sure that everyone has in common. There's a piece of your past that has to do with it. So to reactivate some unconditional love so you can unblock those areas during Venus retrograde, be grateful. The state of gratitude actually opens your heart center and is going to allow energy to come flowing in. And what I mean by this is be grateful for all you have. Be grateful that you have enough money to pay your bills. Be grateful that universe always makes it work and makes it happen. Don't be in that complaining victim mode of how am I going to make it, or oh my God, this bill. Like, you're putting energy out into the universe by what you're saying. And so when you have that state of gratitude for just being able to survive and live and pay your bills, you're opening heart center. Also, being generous. As far as with your money, do you donate? Do you give money to people on the corner that are homeless and less fortunate to you, or any organizations that are for good causes? It doesn't even have to necessarily be a monetary generosity, just your being within your generosity around your finances can help. Being grateful that you have it as good as you do compared to others less fortunate than you around you in your country and then third world countries. Okay, that being will open your heart back up to that unconditional love. This retrograde, Venus retrograde, is calling you to look within and not to critique others externally. It is really asking you to review your finances. Don't be concerned about what other people do with their money, where their money is going. That's none of your damn business. So if you are, Venus retrograde will have some lessons for you. If not, just focus on you. Focus on how you need to clean up your finances. Focus on how you need to invest better, save, prepare for emergencies. This is all the things around finances in Venus retrograde. Also, we're going to bring more beauty into the world by being more heart-centered. This is a really huge theme for retrograde. So I want to acknowledge at this point of the video that during retrograde, it's not all like sunshine. You're going to have challenges that help you to learn these lessons or apply these lessons. So it's always the duality, and it's happening for you. It's not happening to you. But you're going to want to focus on being the love that you want to receive. So many times people are looking to fill a void with love and fill that love outside of them through a person, through an object, through a hobby, through a something. You need to focus on self-love so you can become the love that you desire and allow yourself to be open to receiving love. Maybe you are focusing on self-love so much that you're also not applying yourself into receiving the love outside of the love you give yourself. And also having fun in romance. Now, if you're not in a relationship, you have fun with yourself, because like I said yesterday in a different video, love starts with self-love. Okay, many people, like I said, are looking for love in other people and forgetting about themselves. The first relationship you are ever in is with yourself. And you have to be able to have fun with that self-love. You know, so many people get like so strict into their routines and don't have fun. They forget to play, they forget to laugh, they forget that life is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be so serious. And so also romantic couples, where have you been lacking fun and creativity in your relationship? This is big because at this time of the year, or when you get past the honeymoon stage and you are years into your connection, you forget to date that person like you once did when you first met them, when you first were attracted to them. Don't stop dating your partner. Continue to fall in love with them. You can always revamp your love, your marriage, and take it to the next level. Share your gifts with the world. This is really big for Venus retrograde. Sharing your gifts. We all have gifts, and some people may feel like they don't, but you do. So that means universe is calling you to explore what your gifts are. Some people's gifts aren't a craft. Some people's gifts isn't a music. Some people literally feel like they have no gift because they don't realize their being is a gift, their energy, their light is a gift, their messages is a gift. Just how they listen to people. These are such small gifts that get but big ones that get overlooked at by people who know how to play instruments and are good singers and know how to crochet and knit and do all the things. But it's also a time to encourage yourself to get out there and try new things, especially if you feel like you've been working with the same gifts for a while. Try to master something new. That's fun within itself. It's also a huge time for reconciliation, and Venus retrograde in Leo wants you to try to reconcile, maybe not a literal reconciliation where you bring somebody back in life, but bringing light into darkness. And I want to give you an example with two things. A person who's passed on, right? And a person who's still here in the present day. There are people coming to your subconscious mind from the past, and you're probably thinking, why am I thinking about this person or this old lover? Or last night I had a dream that I married my high school sweetheart and I was late to my own wedding, and I was going to do my vows off the rip. And I didn't wake up this morning freaking out because I knew we had Venus retrograde happening, and marriage is really like important to me. And I know that I will get married again. It's not going to be to my high school sweetheart, but I think that was indication that my heart is ready to be married again. And because of my ex-husband has passed on. You know, I've been doing a lot of reconciliation work with him since he's passed on, since I left him through my trauma healing. And he's been on my mind a lot too. So that's an example of somebody who's passed on that universe is asking you to work on reconciliation with. Also somebody here in the present day. I want to challenge you that maybe you and your lover need some reconciliation. Maybe somebody who's like a soulmate connection. People don't realize family members and friends can be soulmates too. And so maybe there needs to be a reconciliation between a strong bond that is like a soulmate. Also, there are friends in our lives that actually represent, we're drawn to them, attracted to them, kind of trauma bonded from our own wounds. And I'm going to give you an example. I didn't recognize this until a few years ago, that some of my closest guy friends also have characteristics of my father, or like my needs that were unmet as a child from my father wounds. And I'm still drawn to these type of men because I'm working through those wounds still. And I had noticed that the abandonment and neglect from my father, I also kind of gravitate towards men friendships that kind of, I'm always having to reach out to them, or I'm overly doing for them, and they like kind of forget about me. And it represents those childhood wounds. This could be a time where universe is asking you to reach out and just have a conversation, let them know how you feel, and put that light, which is the love, the unconditional love, into the darkness and kill that ego some more. Your heart will feel good when you do this, and that's how you'll know you're doing the work. Treasures within you. I want you to, because I also mentioned that Venus represents values and treasures. This is a time where you're going to review all of the treasures of life, kind of what you've been through. Dig through and find more treasures. Also, contemplate and reflect on your values. Maybe your values have shifted. Maybe you need to review your values because you haven't been being authentic to them. But there's this innocence and joy that happens when you are coming from a place of unconditional love. And that's how you know you're being your authentic self. Many people don't know how it feels to be your authentic self. And I always say that when you're able to be like childlike and innocent and vulnerable with certain people, because in life, you can't always be like that with everybody, but those type of people that you can, those are your people. Those are your alignments, whether there's challenge areas or not. And so just a few more things before we wrap up. I want to go over some do's and don'ts. Well, I'm not telling you what you can't do or what you should do, but I'm going to give you based off recommendations. So during retrograde energies, there's always some things you're better off not doing, or else you're going to learn some lessons or deal with some consequences that may be fated to happen. I'm going to start with the don'ts so we can end on the positive. And it's not a time to start new relationships. There could be some people who you think are new options coming to you. I want to tell you they're false realities, okay? What do I mean by that? They're distractions from a person you already have a connection with, or they are tests to see how bad you want what you say you want, because they're going to end up to be exactly like something you left from. It's that false grass is greener on the other side. You're going to find out that shit is artificial turf. It's no bueno. Don't even go there. So new relationships, if you're kind of starting to talk or date with somebody, wait and hold off until the retrograde is done and see if you feel the same way about them 2 weeks after the retrograde. I guarantee you, universe is trying to show you somebody that's really not for you, but may have a false mask on or a facade, and they're not meant for you. Also, this is not the time for any plastic surgeries, new hair extremes, or buying high ticket price items unless you absolutely have to. Hold off. And now the do's that you want to for Venus retrograde and Leo. Think of what you want to attract into your life, not only for yourself, but within your relationships, your intimate relationships, your friendships, all of that. Think of a financial plan. Look at your financial plan, revise it, edit it, talk to your financial advisor, see what shifts you can make. Refine any business plans that you have and fine tune any business models to help you get further along in your business and your career. Also, review all those relationships and see who you're ready to dive deeper with, who needs more boundaries. There's a duality. It's not about just who needs to be released in your life. There are reflections going on with who's meant to be in your life. But now, hey, let's take it to a deeper level. Maybe like we dive deeper into our connection. We start talking deeper. And any unfinished business around money or love, get it tied up during retrograde. And just create that wave of love. Like I said, it starts with you. And when you become unconditional love, you ripple that out in your thoughts, words, and actions every single day into the collective. And the collective's frequency has raised and will continue to as long as you keep doing the work, beautiful souls. So let me see. I think we've got some comments on this episode. Kimberly, hello. Thank you for joining us. You are new energy, so welcome. And I hope that you are learning so much from the astrology and astronomy. Eventually, I'll be incorporating some other stuff, but we are focusing on astrology and astronomy because the energy impacts us here on Earth every single day. And like I said, you have a natal chart of your own. And when you have your natal chart in combination, so I'm going to end with this. You're going to want to check out where your Venus is, what house it is, because this may be some intentional challenge areas for you. All the houses represent different areas of life. So also look to see where your Leo energy is, because it is in Venus retrograde in Leo. And just look to see, is your Venus already retrograde at the time of birth? That could mean double diving in. I think that's about it. If you have any questions as you watch the episodes, please drop them. I love to answer questions and I love to turn questions into videos. So that's all I have for now for Venus retrograde in Leo from July 22nd to September 3rd. That's a long time. So be patient, be gentle, have compassion, and become the love you want to receive. Have a beautiful night.